Welcome to the lair of the Batty Boffin.
Hi there Batty fans, welcome to another Batty Boffin maths video. This one is all about quadratics. Now quadratics is one of those words along with trigonometry and Pythagoras that strikes terror into most people's hearts when they hear it. But like trigonometry and Pythagoras, once you know how to do it, the hardest thing is actually spelling it. It's not hard at all really, just sounds horrible because it's got a Q in it. Before we start with the quadratics, we're just going to do a little bit of recap on multiplying out brackets. Now, if you're not sure how to do this, don't watch the rest of this video. Go back to some of the other videos on multiplying out brackets. There's a whole bunch of them there and they will help you how to do these. So make sure you know how to do these first. So what we've got here is 2x plus 4 in the brackets and we've got a 3x outside the brackets. So we need to multiply whatever's outside the brackets by everything inside. And I sometimes draw dragon claws to help me remember that. So here we go. First of all, we're going to do the 3x times the 2x. 3x times 2x, numbers first, 3 times 2, that's 6. X times x, x squared. Okay? It's not 5x, we're not adding them, we're multiplying them. Remember there's a little times there. Okay, so that's the first thing, and here's the second thing. And there's my dragon claw, so I'm going to put a little drop of blood on it. Just because I can, this is my video, I can do what I want. There you go, a little drop of blood. So we're doing 3x times the 4. It's added, so here's an add. 3x times 4 is 12x. Okay, so hopefully you're okay with that. We've got two terms inside the brackets multiplied by one thing, so we've got two terms outside the brackets. Now quadratics don't end up with two terms, they end up with 4, hence the name quadratics. And they look very similar to this, except instead of having just one term outside the brackets, we've got two terms. So they look something like this. I'll do a simple one to start off with. So x plus 2 and x plus 5. So effectively what we've got is a bracket multiplied by the thing outside the brackets is another thing in brackets. Remember, of course, there's a little times in there. So what we're going to do here is exactly the same thing. Again, I'm going to draw some dragon claws, only this time we're going to have two sets of dragon claws. So we do everything in this bracket times by everything in that bracket. The only thing that people ever go wrong on in this is not doing quite everything, not doing all of them. So there's a few ways to help you remember it, and one of the most popular ones is FOIL. FOIL. Okay? That stands for first, outside, inside, last. I'll just write those out. There. So we're going to do the first ones, which means the first thing in this bracket times by the first thing in this bracket. So that's x times x. Actually, I'll write it underneath. That's x squared. Okay? First thing in this bracket times the first thing in this bracket, x times x, x squared. Then it's O, the outside thing, so that's the ones on the edge. And there's my first dragon claw. Bit of blood on there as well, I think. There we go. Lovely. So that's an x times a 5. X times 5, 5x, and it's added. So that's the first two and the outside two. Now it's the inside ones. That's the 2 times the x, 2x. And finally the last ones. The last one in this bracket times the last one in this bracket. And there's my other dragon claw. There we go. So we should have a dragon claw on the top and a dragon claw on the bottom. So the last ones. The last one in this bracket times the last one in this bracket. 2 times 5. 2 times 5 is simply 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4 terms quadratic. That has come from the first times the first, the outside ones, the x times the 5, the inside ones, the 2 times the x, and the last ones, the 2 times the 5. When you have brackets that look like this, x plus something, you will notice that 2 of the terms stick together. You should always simplify if you can, so that would simplify to x squared plus 7x plus 10. And that's a classic quadratic. An x squared term, an x term, and a constant. Okay? Hopefully your brain's not too full there. Time for you to go and get a nice cup of coffee while I wipe down the board, and there'll be some for you to practice in a minute. Right, here are some for you to try. We've got a nice simple one at the top. X plus 1 times x plus 4. So you do the x times the x times the 4, they're the outside ones, the 1 times the x, they're the inside, and the 1 times the 4. So you should end up with 4 terms, the middle 2 of which will simplify. Same here. An x plus 3 and an x minus 2. Remember that that negative kind of sticks with the 2. So you're going to get some terms that are takeaways. And down here, again, we've got a negative in one bracket. So have a go with those. Your turn to see what you can do. Pause the video and have a go at those now. Welcome back. How did you get on? Here we go. I think I'll do these in blue. I'll draw my little lines in green as well. First 2. X times x, x squared. Outside. X times 4, 4x. The inside ones. 1 times x. You can just write x if you want. And the last ones, 1 times 4, note it's times, not add, 1 times 4. So that simplifies to x squared plus 5x plus 4. There, I hope you got that one. Here's the next one. The first ones. X times x is x squared. The outside, x times negative 2. You can either write take away 2x, or you can write add negative 2x. Both are fine. The inside ones and the last ones. Again, you can either write take away 6 or add negative 6. When you combine those, it's x squared. Watch the signs on here. We have a negative 2x and a 3x. We end up with just x, 1x. Okay, hope those negatives didn't get you. And for the last one down here, again, we're starting off with x squared. Then we have add 4x. For the inside 2, take away 5x. And for the last 2, take away 20. So when we combine all those, we get x squared minus x minus 20. There. So that's the first bit of quadratics. These ones are quite simple ones. They just have x's at the beginnings. Obviously you can have slightly more complicated things. We will do some of those in the next videos. So I'll see you next time, Batty fans.